Well, the first two-thirds of this course are about trigonometry. If we look at the word itself, we get to see what it's all about. Um, Trigon is the first part of the word. That would be another way of saying triangle. Metry meaning measure. So literally the word trigonometry means the measurement of triangles. What we will be doing is looking at triangles and finding relationships between the angles and the sides and whatnot. In order to do this, we define 6 trig functions. And there's a question of why 6? Why not 2 or why not 12? Well, here's a way of looking at why. Why are there 6? Suppose you got 3 people. Person A, person B, person C. And they've never met each other before, and they all run into each other on the street and decide to introduce themselves. So they introduce themselves by shaking hands. And so A will shake hands with B, A and C will shake hands, B and C will shake hands. How many handshakes among the 3 people? Well, I think it was pretty clear that each pair had a handshake, and with 3 things you have 3 pairs. So we had 3 handshakes. Well, the next day, these same 3 people get together again. This time, though, they know each other, so their greeting is different. They greet each other in a more familiar fashion. That is, each one gives the other a back slap. So here we are looking down on their heads. And A will give a back slap to B and to C. B then reciprocates by slapping A's back and slapping C's back, and likewise C will give a back slap to both of his friends, A and B. Notice that each back slap takes a pair of people. B slaps C's back. There's a pair there. Yet, I end up with 6 back slaps where there are only 3 handshakes. The question is, why? And the answer is ordering. When you looked at handshakes, you didn't have a particular order. B and C were shaking hands. Yet, when they're talking back slaps, there is a slapper and a slappee. The 2 different people play different roles. So you have the back slap, B slapping C's back, but you also have the other one where C slaps B's back. 2 different back slaps with the same pair. Right? And this is how we're going to end up with 6 trig functions. Because what we're going to do is we're going to be looking at right triangles. Now remember, right triangles have a right angle, although actually I guess that doesn't really matter for what I'm going to do here. But we'll be focusing on right triangles for a substantial portion of the trig section. And I'm going to look at the 3 sides. I'm going to give them names A, make that A look a little more like an A, B, and C. Right? Now if I look at pairs of sides, I have 3 pairs. I have the pair AB, I have the pair AC, and I have the pair BC. And yet, what I want to do is get 6 things, and the 6 trig functions are going to be defined in terms of fractions, ratios of these sides of a triangle. And if I'm taking these pairs and making fractions out of them, you can see that it makes a very big difference as to how I make the fraction. And so I end up with 6 fractions. With the pair AB, I can take A and divide by B, or I could do B and divide by A, 2 very different fractions. Likewise, AC can turn into A divided by C or C divided by A, and that last one, what just happened? B divided by C or C divided by B. 3 pairs of sides, 6 fractions that I can make from these sides. Those 6 fractions will turn out to be the 6 trig functions.